Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a May reading for Sagittarius. So I'm not doing a specific spread for May. What I'm doing is practicing with the two new Oracle decks that I got and just sort of chucking out how many cards I'm called to for each sign. So I've got this brand new Starseed Oracle. I was compelled to combine it with the Work Your Light Oracle as a double deck. So I've got that here. As you can see, the cards that came out for Sagittarius are all from the new deck. So I'm going to be skimming the book just to see, just to try to remind myself what the cards are for. And I may or may not read some sections out. And the same is going for the Wild Unknown Archetypes. So this is new. I just got these last week, so I'm still practicing with them. So we're looking at the Oracle decks, and then I'm using my charms, my bucket of charms here to get a focused topic for the reading, and then to clarify and wrap up, I've got tarot. So I'm going to be using the Thoth deck for this, for Sagittarius. Alright, so the Oracle reading tends to be less to do with the material world and more to do with what's going on energetically or in extra dimensions. Like emotions, the subconscious, cosmic, galactic things, especially with the Starseed Oracle. So the charms that I got, I opened the box and I was tossing them around, and the rhino kept looking at me, so I had to actually pull that one out manually. And what landed on top of the box here is the whale charm, and this has been trying to come out basically in every reading. It landed inverted on the top of the box, which usually indicates like a significant meaning, like, oh, we're thinking outside the box, or it's something that keeps coming up. Is the whale inverted? It's like an inability to reach a certain depth, like a blocking off from this sort of ancestral emotive wisdom. But we'll get back to that. I'm going to put that over here. I'll just hold that up again. It's supposed to be a humpback whale. Okay. I'll just put it upside down so I don't remember it was upside down. Is that in the frame? Yes. Okay. So I have the rhino. This is sort of like chonky unicorn. I mean, there's clearly some kind of third eye going on. And the rhino is supposed to be able to turn on a dime. I do believe that they go in water, although not as much as a hippopotamus would do. They're sort of swampy, muddy kind of creatures, but again, they can be very fast and quick to temper. So we'll see what else comes up for that. The rhinoceros. There's other inverted charms. It just means they land with the plain paper side up. So I have the shark. Now, when I said the whale, I was talking about avoiding like deep emotional intelligence. The shark in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck is sort of like stuff that you've been ignoring, that sort of swims around your ankles and like nibbles at you and chomps at you when you least expect it. It's like an angry, right, rhino angry form of emotional baggage. Like your inner child is just sitting in there gnawing at your ankles. I'm gonna make these facing each other. They're all kind of pointy. I have the toothpaste here. I'm getting this like washing your mouth out with soap. Like, for some people, the inner child is angry because any emotional expression was rewarded with punishment. You know, like a child is angry, they might scream or even swear, and it's all like an emotional outpouring of like, this is not okay, and then their expression or indignation would then be punished. So you have a doorway here. Sometimes this makes me think of the Seven of Wands. Like, you can't come in here because the door is shut. Also makes me think of Beetlejuice, or draw a door and knock 3 times. We're dealing with like an afterlife or something, right? It's like a doorway that's just out in the middle of space. What is that? Oh, it is. Wait. I think it is Toe Jam and Earl. Never mind. Alright, so inverted charms, the F-bomb, right? I'm not allowed to swear if I'm upset. We have the letter coming in inverted. Right, it's like a lack of communication. There's no explanation. There's no detailing of sentiment. Right, there's no sympathy card. So I have this flask inverted. It's like there's no solution or a lack of chemistry. Also inverted, we have the icosahedron. I believe icosahedron is water, which would indicate an emotional, like my emotions are frozen. Although it's interesting because there's a crystallization. I hate it when I say that. There's a crystallization coming with this solution, but it's inverted. Right? It's like there's something here that's solidified, but it wasn't the substance that we wanted. Right? We ended up making toxic foam instead of diamonds. The other inverted thing here is this holly berries thing. Last time I got this for one of the other readings for May, it made me think of those wing nuts. I should make a wing nut charm. I have an acorn. I'm writing myself a note. It's like moose antlers. Okay. A lot of the time when I get these holly berries, though, it makes me think of Christmas. You know, like, this is a crap gift. There's no kissing under the mistletoe here. I mean, basically what I see is childhood trauma. Where it's like Sagittarius wasn't given the tools they need to come up with a solution to an emotionally toxic pattern. But there is a gateway here. It's just the door is closed. It's like you don't have the password. And the potential is to ram the door. But I'm also seeing, like, instead of ramming the door open, the water pressure just builds and builds until it pops open. Is there? It makes me think of the scene in Real Genius where they fill the house with popcorn and it busts the door off the hinges. So let's get into the oracle cards here. Some more information. Okay, so we have star bathing coming in inverted. Light body crystal grid transmission activation. Now bathing would indicate getting like water, emotions, feelings. And the crystal grid's coming in, right? This solution crystallized in a way that we didn't think. We had the wrong solution and we didn't make the compound that we wanted. There was like, again, it crystallized in a way we didn't want to. It, instead of growing something useful, it turned into a cancer. Okay, light body crystal grid transmission activation coming in inverted, which to me indicates resistance, confusion, or delay. Blockage of some kind. So we have weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry. Look at all this water here. Okay. So again, confusion, resistance, or delay. Bathing and then literally in a pool of water. I'm gonna sneeze. I don't have a tissue over here. Other one. Water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So again, water and bathing. This is the third time this card has come up for May. And that's a lot of it. This is a pretty hefty deck to shuffle through and have stuff come out of. Like 100 and something cards all told. Alright, so this is a lot to do about being able to be in emotions, right? Self-nurturing. And part of that here is expression. So let me look at, actually, let me look at weight of the world first, because that seems to be the issue. Something, something, the world on your shoulders. That's a song, but I can't remember how it goes now. It's been a while. Where the hell? Oh. Okay, here it is. I found it. So, weight of the world. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. It's a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's. Put on your own oxygen mask first. It's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This bottled up frustration, this emotional grief case that's pretty ouchy bleedy here. It's a constant power drain, right? There's the electrical circuit isn't grounded. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others. That gets into this people pleaser dynamic, right? You're not allowed to be angry in order to keep things on the even keel. You'd have, in this dynamic, you'd have been trained to be accommodating, to fix problems, to be overly anxious to make sure other people are okay and ignoring your own needs or feelings, because that would mean that you're a shitty person. So it's been trained out. The way you've been doing this is likely unsustainable. It's not to say you should switch off the world's problems and become unconscious. It's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. Right? It says the planet needs you to be healthy both physically and emotionally. The thing is, though, it's taking care of yourself isn't ignoring the world. When you take care of yourself, you're setting an energy precedent, a pattern, like a stamp that says things are cared for in a proper way. What's things? I'm things. You know, I'm nourishing the source. And then it might radiate out, and other people might take care of themselves, and then a whole bunch of people are actually taking care of themselves instead of trying to drain emotional energy out of other people by saying, like, you can't, you know, you can't have an emotion near me or I will shove it down your throat. That's an emotional abuse. That person that trained you to be people pleasing wasn't taking care of themselves, and then it's a chain reaction down shit hill. But you can do it the other way too. You set a post in, and I think I said this exact same post thing in Scorpio's reading, or maybe Libra. But you set, like, I set my stamp down, right? This is my goalpost. This is my phone company tower. So now I have more bars on my cell phone in this area, right? The signal gets boosted. So now when I go over here to help something, I don't have to work as hard to take care of myself or something around me. And this area now is able to take care of themselves better because this energy imprint is here, and it's sort of like, oh, I never would have thought to do that, but wow, this is neat. When you set down those little energy towers of I'm taking care of myself, I don't have to do everything. I don't have to solve crime. I don't have to solve poverty. I don't have to solve gun violence. I just need to take a nap for 3 days and clean my house. And it's not going to immediately solve every problem in the area, but it's going to set this energy precedent that helps things start moving in a different direction. It's talking about practicing, like, not jacking into social media right away, but to, meditate or exercise or be mindful of your morning routine. Like, don't just turn on the TV and watch whatever and stuff your face, but, like, notice what you're doing with your tea and toast or whatever you're having. Breathing and so on. It does say at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. What's an energetic shower? Star bathing. Right? I'm cleansing my energy. It's like putting a crystal out in the sun, in the starlight to recharge. This is what this is talking about. I think that's pretty good. Let me just skim star bathing, just in case. Just hit the camera. Is it still in focus? Doesn't look like it. I mean, I guess that's pretty close. So I'm just going to skim star bathing because I haven't gotten that card pop out for me yet. So it's talking about this crystalline grid between Earth and the stars. There's this, like, feedback information loop dealing with vibrational shifts. Okay. This does talk about you might be called to go other places, but that's sort of like I was talking about with like setting that post. It's like, oh, now I can go further, and I'm still keeping this frequency of care, right? And then this area over here is getting it now, right? Like putting up phone towers, the network of this crystal and star energy gets bigger once you take care of yourself in this spot. So there is this aspect of I might be called to go over here, so I'm just going to keep setting more little posts as I go. Right? It's kind of like when they built the railroad, they drove to the end of the railroad and then built the next piece of track and then drove to the end of that and built it. Okay, that's good enough. So let's move on to the next set of cards here. So these archetypes, the father. So this came out previously for May in one of the other readings. We have the father, number 2. It's duality. So I remember this because I read it just last night or something. There's a duality with the father. There's the protector, but also this abandoner. There's a double side to it. It's you know, like, don't hold me up as this, like, I'm not the king of all the world, I'm just a person, so sometimes I mess up too, or I'm not there when you want me to be. But there's also this aspect of leading and nurturing, right? It's a two-edged sword. There's always one with the other, that's what it was saying in the book. I think there's some other stuff too, so I might skim that one again just to get some extra stuff. There's an invert triangle coin here, and then some outer stars. I don't know if that's supposed to be Sirius or something else. I feel like it's Sirius. So we have the self. This came out in a reading, but not with this. So we have from 2, and now we have 29. So we have this kind of between the heart and throat chakra thing. I'm going to have to read this again too, because I don't know if I quite got that one or not. But there is this idea of paying attention to the self. This is like I'm being there for myself instead of all this time where I've been abandoning myself because I wasn't allowed to be in my own essence, my own expression. And then we have the flame. So I haven't gotten this card yet. We have 51 here. I mean, the flame is sort of eternal. It's like this, it can be the solar center, right? The core of my essence. And that way it would be very similar to this. It's like the phoenix rising from its ashes, the secret in the dark, the spark of inspiration, the meditation, and so on. So I'll skim that card as well. I'm actually going to read the flame first. I really hate these Roman numerals. Pain in my ass. Okay. The archetypal fire is at the beginning of all transformation, purification, and manifestation. Okay. So it's creating this, it's like a spark of magic. It's like the first couple of words in a spell. And a lot of the time you'll need candles for magic anyway. It's like I'm setting up a grid for myself. I'm getting illumination. Flame at the center of the abdomen, right? The solar center. Responsible for vitality, right? I need rest. I need to stoke my own flame. When it's lit, we're connected to our purpose in a sense that life is a sacred gift. Right? It's like I feel like my flame is burning out. I'm burnt out. I'm exhausted. Okay. think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten and protect the flame. Right, this father energy is part of protection. It's also the same as the Emperor. It's a younger masculine energy that's entered this stage of self-command where they're ready to be responsible, they're ready to procreate, and that could either be physically babies or it could be I'm ready to like embark on my life's journey, right? I'm ready to roll out my magnum opus. I'm understanding the management of the four elements in a manifestational way. Right? And then it can be that like that inner thing too, like I need to like stand up for myself to keep my flame going. I need to weather the storm with the little hurricane lantern. Jesus Christ. Okay. So let me look at the self here, because the flame is leading into the self. My neck hurts. Okay. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. And it's sort of, it says when this card appears, it's a call to step back into witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world, right? It's like, it's this idea of reflection, of rest and reflection, of cleansing yourself, of draining energies that don't belong to you to figure out who you really are, like standing back from yourself, seeing yourself objectively, that like it's like, who am I? It's like I am what? Like I am me, or I exist as this. That is that self is sort of riding on the flame. It's a way of, it's like seeing beyond the ego. Okay, so let's look at the father again real briefly here for extra tidbits. Okay. I'm just skimming this to see if there's anything else that's really relevant to this reading. Okay. So it says, witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. Now here, I was imagining that this emotional suppression is coming from the parents. It could be specifically from the father, but it doesn't have to be. It seems to be handed down as a masculine energy. Although a distorted feminine energy could very equally be, I'm thinking like shrill and dismissive. But the way that it's being described in this archetype is that it's part of the father, where it's like dismissive, ignoring, or protecting, nurturing, or like protecting and guiding. Whereas the feminine is either like bringing life or bringing death. this is more like, it's more like a muted version of both of those, right? It's like I watch and let you do your own stuff, but I make sure that you don't kill yourself. Or I just ignore you. I'm like, whatever, I'm busy. Whereas the feminine aspects are either all like, I brought you here, or I remove you from here. It's a little bit more extreme. But it's also like, I bring you to, like, I transform you. And this is, becomes eventually like, I decide what I keep and don't keep. I decide, like, when I stand up for myself. Okay. Let's look at the tarot. Wow, these are all inverted. So we have abundance inverted 3. This is 3 of Cups. Lack of abundance. So here there is distorted feminine energy because it's a low vibration of the Empress, but it's still inverted. But the 3 of Cups inverted isn't always something that's bad. It's like, I'm not partying. It's like, this is serious business. And I'm not about to go start an assembly line of whatever it is I'm trying to do, because I still need to start off at ground zero here with myself. 9 of Cups, happiness inverted. Right? We see the root of the problem is there isn't enough energy for this initial expansion, and it ends up essentially running you into the ground in this misery. But this is the root issue of the unhappiness, is trying to be too consoling and fixie and appealing to everyone else, right? I'm going to make it happen for this whole group here and leave nothing for myself. Now, why am I so unhappy, and why don't I have what I need? So we have the Hermit inverted. This is also a 9, but now we're in the Major Arcana. The Hermit is Virgo energy, right? That's essentially the inner child hiding away. But now, it's like, now that I've seen the root of the problem, going all the way back into childhood, I've gained this illumination, and now I can sort of come out of the darkness. For Sagittarius. Right? The main goal here is to allow yourself to rest, to allow this suppressed inner child, anger, sadness, frustration, grief case, like erupt like a boil, like some kind of festering sore, until all of the all of the rot comes out, and then the wound will heal. You can't just put a band-aid on it and call it good, because it's still going to be festering. So this is opening the door to the basement and letting the inner child out into the light. Let them play in the water. Let them sleep under the stars. Let them have actual feelings, and not have anyone come in and say, you can't do that. It's like, bitch, I'm a grown ass person. I am gonna feel what I feel. You know, like, I said what I said. You know, it's like, I was really pissed off. You know what? Now I need to experience that anger, because that will give me the cleansing that I need. That's watering the garden. right? I'm gonna cry it out. All right. So that's what's there for Sagittarius for May. Some inner child work that looks like it's linked into masculine energy. I believe it was Scorpio whose inner child work was linked to, or was it Virgo? I don't know, it was one of the other ones. Their inner child work was linked to feminine energy. Here it's looking like it's linked more to masculine energy. But everyone has both, and even the inner child has masculine and feminine sides. So when you're releasing that inner child, you do have to be aware that saying they doesn't mean I don't know what gender you're operating in. It means the inner child is a duality. And it doesn't really matter what your physical body is, because you still have those energies. And even masculine and feminine energies are just sort of titles for what those energies look like. They call them like cheesy energy and macaroni energy. Right? At the end of the day, you still have mac and cheese. You're still going to eat all of it. It's a really bad analogy, but hopefully that made somebody laugh. If you want to get a personal reading, you can email me here. But the list of readings that I offer and how much they cost is going to be in the description box underneath here, as will be the link tree, which connects to everything on here. So if you'd like to help keep my channel chunking along, that's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo for that donation, energy exchange, tip jar situation. I've got coloring books, I've got a dark poetry book, merch prints, actual art items. There's a coupon code there, so there's a bunch of different stuff on Etsy. Some of it's only a few bucks, so you'd still get the 17% off. There's a bunch of different kinds of artwork there too. It's not just like one thing over and over again. Certain works, certain prints and actual art items that are either celebrities or book characters, I'm donating 10% to different charities. You'll have to look at the actual pieces to see what. And then when I can afford it, I'm going to be increasing those percentages. Most of my work's going to be psychedelic. Some of it's like fashion-y or like dinosaur, dragon-y kind of stuff. I think that's it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.